Some say don't give up and hope that your good is good enough. Head down, keep on
Still
working.
practicing. This will be video number 2. I'm going to talk about the way I eat with the specifics of the whole daily layout, which you can see on my website, www.hersheyhealth.com, or check out Facebook, whichever. I assume a lot of people know me from Facebook, but I'm trying to broaden out to YouTube because I think YouTube has better potential to be able to show a lot more people, and that's truly, you could say, the goal, because the more people I show, obviously, the healthier I can make the world. Anyway, you start out, as soon as I wake up, no matter what time it is, it could be 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 1 in the morning, you just start keeping track of your time right then. And it shouldn't be anything that you should have to write down or anything. It's just going to be something that you have in your mind, like, oh, I woke up at 2 today, so my first thing, as you see, I eat raw nuts, but I eat raw nuts doesn't mean I'm not gonna bake them. I bake them in the morning. I get a handful of raw nuts, but that's just because I'm hungry when I first wake up. So I bake about a quarter cup full or so in a glass container in the toaster oven. And it takes about 20 minutes, but it makes the nuts taste so much better. So I bake the nuts and I eat them, and while I'm waiting, I usually eat something else, like a banana and some other things. But the first 1 to 4 hours, what that means is when you pass that 1 to 4 hours, like soon as you wake up to 4 hours, like say I wake up at 2:30, I can eat nuts up until 6:30. That's 2:30 plus 4 hours is 6:30. So if I wake up at 1 o'clock or close to it, I just round it because I'm not trying to keep track of like 1:15, 1:10 or something. But if I wake up at like 1 o'clock, I could eat nuts until 5 o'clock. That way, if I got something I got to do, I don't have to rush and be like, oh, I got to get my nuts in, I got to eat them right away. And it doesn't make sense to have to stress out over things. So you got 1 to 4 hours to eat your limit on nuts. That doesn't mean eat until you're almost ready to burst because you love nuts. That means eat what you should eat, max amount, to have the amount of nutrition that is the most beneficial. So once you surpass a certain amount of nuts, anything you're eating above that, you're not getting a great amount of nutrition versus the amount of, let's say, fullness that you're going to get, which is going to then play a role in not being able to be hungry for other healthy foods that if you wouldn't have stuffed yourself full of nuts, you could have them. But anyway, that's that. And the second thing is fruits, potatoes, beans, and peas. Now, everything I eat is not processed, so it's total, like, natural produce type foods. But what I mean by eat fruits, potatoes, beans, peas, and rice for 1 to 8 hours is eating them like the same. Like if you wake up and you're like, oh man, I really want a banana, that's fine because it's 1 to 8 hours. You could eat fruits and all that stuff up until 8 hours. So if you wake up at 3 o'clock, you could eat all that stuff until 11 o'clock. In other words, you don't want to just constantly, like same with the nuts, you don't want to just constantly stuff yourself. It's just you got up until 8 hours to do so. So what you do is just try to eat as many kinds of foods as possible and as little to make it worthy of eating. Like you don't want to eat half a banana and throw away half a banana. That's just That's just kind of stupid if you ask me. But you just want to eat a full banana, which is plenty of nutrition for the banana, and plus it's not over nutrition, like to waste your fullness, because one banana is not going to fill you up. And you can add an apple, an orange. You just eat constantly. If you have a refrigerator full of like 15 kinds of fruits, eat a little bit of each kind. The more you have, the less you probably should eat, because if you could eat every single one of your unprocessed foods throughout the day, that's the goal. Like, if you got the time or the patience, the more you do it, the healthier you're going to be. Period. Point blank. Like, that's the truth. And this chart shows you how to do it. And I don't go by the chart anymore. I just do it naturally. You could say I live the rules of the chart, but that's only because it's obviously the healthiest way. It's set only because this is the way that is clearly the obvious way in my mind, that I've done the tests, I've done the living this lifestyle. So I'm just trying to share it with y'all. Anyway, the last thing you want to eat is vegetables. That is 1 to 12 hours. Like, if you wake up and you're hungry for Brussels, eat Brussels. I'm not hungry for Brussels when I wake up. But if that's you, that's you. But you have up to 12 hours to eat vegetables. So the trick that makes it really good to have that 1 to 12 hour time slot to eat vegetables is because the fruits and the nuts and all that stuff, you're going to be done eating all that up until 8 hours after you wake up, which allows you 4 more hours to eat, but it's only vegetables. So what vegetables will do for you is still give you that nutrition that's so ample for being, 100% healthy as you could be. You need all that nutrition. So what that does is takes the vegetables, which are typically the most not craved, and then you'll have that last 4 hours, if you're hungry, which you should be, you'll eat like carrots, broccoli, Brussels, and cauliflower and all that, and all sorts of different vegetables. But you'll eat that, and then what happens is, since it doesn't have sugary substance in it, you're not going to get full energy. So it starts to totally help you out, and it starts to bring you down a little bit, down to a level of it's getting later in the day. You want to start calming down. You don't want to have a bunch of energy just chilling, just hanging out, getting prepared for basically sleep. And then you're not going to eat for hours before you go to sleep, but yet you should be stuffed, because you'll be hungry the next day. And it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but once you're used to it, the cycle's so awesome. Like, my mind is so clear. Like, you might hear me talking like I'm talking so calm and so low and so like relaxed. That's because I'm so relaxed. I mean, everything in my mind is so clear. I don't need to be hyper. I don't need to like yell or get hyper to get attention. If this is something you want, you'll come get the content that I'm feeding. I'm doing it just to help you, and I'm not trying to impress anybody. That's why I'm laid back. And I'm pretty sure you get the point. I'm hoping. But if not, I will be making videos for my own entertainment, I guess. And it's just fun to me anyway. So regardless, hopefully it helps you, because that's what I'm really doing it for, because I love to help people. And I, just feel like it was a calling for me. I'm pretty much bringing this to you because I feel like it's an important piece of my life. So glad to be a part of it, and I will talk to you soon.